Was traveling alone. And she was, indeed, worth a fortune. These three things were a tempting combination on any day, but here in the wilds of western Pennsylvania they were potentially lethal. Hadn't she just seen a handbill warning of highwaymen at the last stage stop? Emerging from the coach, she stood in a patch of sunlight slightly apart from the other passengers and tried to ignore the oaths coming from beneath the vehicle as the driver dealt with a broken axle. The other passengers looked on in consternation, some muttering epithets of their own. "Miss?" The inquiry came from a robust, heavily rouged woman to Ellie's left, her hazel eyes appraising. "Eleanor," she replied, with a hint of a smile, clutching her purse a bit tighter. "Care to walk with us? We might well make it to Pitt ahead of the driver. It ain't but a dozen miles away, so the marker there says." Relieved, Ellie glanced at the stone pillar alongside the road before falling into step with the others. A little walk would hardly hurt, given she'd been cooped up in a coach for days on end. Her travel mates had boarded just 20 miles prior, far fresher than she, but just as anxious to see the smoky valley that was Pittsburgh, its 3 rivers entwining in a silvery knot. They'd walked but a mile when the sky cast off its blueness like a discarded dress and clad itself in shades of Quaker gray. At the first stinging drops of rain, Ellie quickened her steps, the thin soles of her London-made slippers padding along in dusty protest. Merely a gandigow, her Scots father would say. A heavy shower. Or worse. Worse. Hail, big as goose eggs, began pelting down, giving rise to grunts and cries as all ran for the cover of the woods. Thankful for the broad brim of her bonnet, Ellie huddled beneath a sturdy oak and fixed her eye on the western rim of the horizon. There, a funnel cloud was whirling, black as pitch and sounding strangely like a waterfall. Grabbing hold of the tree's rough trunk, she squeezed her eyes shut against the swirling debris, the scent of damp spring earth suffocating. Twice the storm nearly upended her, prying her fingers free from their fierce hold. She felt fragile as a butterfly about to be shorn of its wings, certain the tempest would tear her to pieces. Lord, help me get home. When the whirlwind finally departed, sheets of cold rain took its place, soaking the mass of her waist-length hair, now matted with twigs and leaves. Nary a hairpin remained, to say nothing of her bonnet. The road was oozing with coffee-colored mud and downed trees. Through the haze, she could make out a few of her traveling companions ahead, scrambling for a light in the distance. It beckoned like a star, promising shelter and peace. The Widow Myers? The last stage stop just shy of Pittsburgh? When she stumbled toward its broad wooden steps, she found the yard as littered as the road, full of stranded coaches and damaged wagons and hysterical horses, its cavernous public room just as chaotic. Night was falling fast. What a strange world a tavern was. Standing on the threshold, she could almost believe she'd left Philadelphia for good. No more Madame Moreau, no tedious lessons in French or embroidery, no performing harp solos in stifling assemblies or declining dances at society balls. And most importantly, no more being hounded by the Matrimonial Society of Philadelphia. Her reticule was gone, pickpocketed by the wind, just like her bonnet. No coin, no comb, no proof of who she was. The realization edged her nearer the hysteria rising all around her. Looking up, she noticed the western portion of the tavern roof was